I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here for another Feeding Frenzy for the Master Key System. This is part 1, day 10.
Harmony in the world within
Yes.
means the ability to control our thoughts
Okay.
and to determine for ourselves how any experience is to affect us. Now tell me how that works.
Mm-hmm.
How does harmony in the world within give us the ability to control our thoughts? But more importantly, how does it determine how any experience is to affect us? How does it allow us to determine?
Well, if we believe that it's true, that we create our own world, we create our own universe, then, and the tool of that creation is our thoughts, then it would just make sense that harmony would come from the ability to control those thoughts, right?
Okay, but how does it help us determine how any experience is going to affect us?
Well, that goes back to the old saying, I can't change you, but I can change me.
Okay.
And I can't necessarily change in the split second. Sorry, I've got traveling ears. I can't change in the split second what may be happening around me. But I can change my perception of it, my reaction to it, or my action, right? Mm-hmm. Which then will change my outward universe.
You said something that triggered a couple of thoughts. First, I heard once that my reality, or my reaction is my reality.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever reaction we have is what becomes our reality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how we respond or react to things is what is going to end up being our world. So when we change our reactions, then we change our world.
Now, how do you change your reaction?
I think we become more conscious before we react.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, we change it from a reaction to a response. What's the difference between a reaction and a response?
Thought.
Thought. What thought?
Well, a reaction, to me, is without thought.
Okay.
I'm just
React.
acting.
So
I'm
it's
saying I'm
more
not
of
putting thought into it at all. A
it's
response,
more of a programmed response?
yes, a response to me has thought in it.
Okay.
Even if it's quick thought, even if it's just inhaling first before,
Okay.
a response to me includes conscious thought.
So in answer to your question of how do you change your reaction, think about it first and make it a response instead of a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing wrong with saying, let me sleep on it,
Right?
or taking a time out before you.
And sometimes in that
React.
tense moment, even a breath will change a situation, your immediate situation, from one of reaction to one of response.
So back to this statement though, how do we get harmony in the world within? We talked about that before, but how do I get and keep harmony in the world within?
How do you?
How do you do it? I think I answered it last time.
By remembering to respond instead of react, and giving myself permission to take the time I need to form that response, and not allowing someone else to push me into a reaction. Saying, just a minute, I need time to digest this first. It's sometimes hard to do, especially when someone is egging it on in order to get a reaction. It's difficult to say, hold on just a minute, time out. I got to have time to think about this. So allowing myself the time that I need in order to form that response rather than going for that reaction is one way that I start to
So at the risk
build harmony within.
So at the risk of saying something here that you want to cut out later, I'm going to say it anyway. We just came up with this little argument, disagreement.
No, it wasn't little.
Okay.
It was pretty big.
All right.
Yes.
So in the middle of that, when it seems like everything I say and everything you say just makes things worse, my thought was, okay, we are both way out of alignment here.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of us have any harmony whatsoever inside
Mm-hmm.
because we're too angry, too scared, too panicked, too whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And everything we say is just the wrong thing. And it probably wouldn't have mattered what you'd said. it would have hit me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And same with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, the best thing in the past we usually like, let's hurry up and get over this. Let's get through it. Let's talk it out. Let's, do whatever we got to do to make everything okay.
Mm-hmm.
When now I'm thinking what we might ought to do is just go to our different corners
Mm-hmm.
and just get in alignment, get back in harmony, and
Mm-hmm.
take the time we need away from each other so that we're not making it worse and saying things we regret and doing things that make it worse, to each other that hurt.
Well, we were both fighting from emotion.
Yes, exactly, and that's what a reaction is it comes from that emotion and those programmed responses before you have time to think about a new response.
Right.
So maybe next time, hopefully there won't be a next time, but if there is, maybe we just say, hey, I am not in alignment here, and I've got to go get in alignment, take a time out, and get back in harmony here before we can ever. What do you think?
I agree. Totally. And that's what it took.
Mm-hmm.
We literally both had to go to our separate corners and calm down and rethink. And I don't know about you, but I had to figure out what was the fear that was driving the emotion before I could address what the argument was. I had to dig deeper. I had to go, it took me a while, and I received the answer I needed through prayer, but it also came in a dream. And I didn't understand what the fear was until then. So it took that time of processing in order to address the argument, which is actually the top layer of it. There's always an underlying fear.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say is those arguments that most people have, not just us, but most people have, are just surface level things. And we end up arguing about things that really aren't what we're mad about or really aren't what's underneath. And I'm finding that it's always a fear underneath.
Always.
Always. There's some fear that one or both of us has. So if we can get to that fear. But first we have to get in harmony, because when I'm pissed off, the last thing I'm going to do is talk about it. Or try to do a video. Or try to do anything that's in alignment,
Yes.
We're polar opposites from that. To even try to do anything that's right or in alignment. So of course we're not going to get along. Okay, so now we know how to solve the world's problems. All right.
We start with our own.
Start with our own. There you go. There you go. All right.
So we decided to do this and let people in on our stuff so that they could help them with their harmony and their stuff. Good stuff.
Good stuff. All right. Stream.
Stream.